let's do a bond again, okay? Let's try another bond. Okay. Let's do a bond again. Let's say I have a $100,000 bond. Life simple. Okay. We got a $100,000 face amount of the bond. It has stated interest rate. Space. 10%. It has a market effective or yield rate at the current time when we issue the bond of 8%. Okay? And it is semi-annual. And it is, there's 30 years on our table, 30 periods. I hereby decree is 15 years. Okay? Do we have 30 on there? We do, don't we? Okay, good. Value it. Tell me what it's worth right now. Right at the beginning. It's so easy. Should take almost no time. You did it in 101. You guys know everything I taught you in 101. It's back there somewhere. Clobbered. Let's say 100,000. Stated rate. 8%, right? Effective market or yield, whatever you want to call it. So it's 10%. Instead of semi-annual. That was strange.
Was it backwards? The market was at 8%.
Okay, yeah, let's leave it the way it was. What's going to sell at discount or premium? Premium. Yeah, premium. Keep that. So everybody likes it if it only pays 8. Whoops. If it pays 10, I still can't do it. If it pays 10, and the market only expects 8, so everybody would like it, wouldn't it? What's it doing? Okay, there we go. And what I say, 15 years? So how many semi-annual periods? 30. 30. So we're going to have N equals 30. What's I going to be for discounting purposes? 4%. You've got to cut it in half, right? And then what's the interest going to be, the cash interest, the annuity in other words? What's the annuity payment going to be? It's $10,000 a year, but what is it every 6 months? 5,000. Right, guys? It's too easy. Is it an ordinary annuity or annuity due? When are the payments? Ordinary. So these are the kind of questions you're going to ask yourself, you guys. The only things there are: present value, future value, some number of periods from now. Number of periods, interest rate, and maybe an annuity payment. And if there is an annuity payment, it is one of two things. What's that? Ordinary end of the period or due beginning of the period. You have to make those decisions, right? Figure out what they gave you, figure out what they want, calculate every time. And in real life, that's exactly what we do too. What are we working on? have values? Present value of the sum, the present value of an annuity, ordinary annuity. Add the two together to get the total value of the bond. Is it going to be worth more or less than 100,000? Because everybody's going to love it because it pays more. State interest is higher than yield. Maybe more. A lot more? No, because it's only a 2% difference. Right? But it's a fair amount more. It's 2% and it's over a lot of periods, isn't it? So it's a fair amount. And the bigger you make the difference, the bigger, the difference in dollars. The bigger the interest rate, the bigger the difference. It's just valuing interest. So you guys have values? Yes? Yes? You guys? Yes? Yes? Is it unanimous? 5? Yes?
No.
You are doing a present value of the bond, right? So you need the lump sum, 100,000. When are you going to be getting? At the end of how many periods? 30. 36-month periods. What discount rate are you going to use? 4%. Give me the present value of 100,000 discounted for 30 periods at 4%. And you got it. That's that piece, right? What's the other piece? You're going to get $5,000. How many times?
So the 100,000 is technically the future.
That's the face, and that's what I'm going to get paid out in the future. If I buy this bond, 36-month periods from now, they're going to give me $100,000.
So
If I issue the bond, I have to pay them, right? So either way, I'm going to value it. That's what the bond is going to pay off at the end, right? That's cash flow.
Future
It's
value.
a future value 30 periods from now. It is, isn't it? 15 years, 2 6-month periods per year. That do it?
Mm-hmm.
So discount that. That'll tell you what the 100,000 is worth. But there's also interest, 5,000 for 30 times. What's that? $150,000? So there's interest of 150 on this thing too. Is that right? Times 30. 15. 150,000. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the 150,000 worth? That's going to be an annuity, ordinary annuity, because the payment's at the end of the period, it's interest, discounted for 30 periods at 4%. See, it's not remembering how to value a bond, it's knowing what the business transaction is. Okay? What are the cash flows? What's happening? Can you do it now? Everybody else think they have it right? You guys just did one, so it's fresh. You got it? See?
Which table are you using?
Present value of the sum for the 100,000 and present value of an ordinary annuity for the 5,000 over and over. So we'll give this, let's work one, then you can practice. You make up any bond you want and practice value, or you can find examples in the book. If you went to the bond chapter in your intermediate book, you find all kinds of. The difficulty there is that they're going to be between interest dates, so you have to worry about accrued interest and stuff on them too. So it'll get more complex, that's all. Let's value this puppy. What do I have? I have a future value when of $100,000. When do we get it?
15 years. Or 30 periods.
30 periods. Yeah, we want to use the 30 periods just by convention. Okay? And then I have an ordinary annuity payment, so I'm going to have to value the two things separately and add them together. That's done a lot, right? With different cash flows, different times. So how much is that payment going to be? The interest is $5,000, which is 10% a year. It'd be 10,000. It's every 6 months, so it's 5,000, right? That making sense? $5,000. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to value each of these. I'd like to know the present value of both. And what I'm going to do is add the two together. Make sense? And then I'll know what the whole thing's worth. That's all there is to it. Okay? So we'll have the present value of the whole thing. It's what it's going to sell for. Again, I expect it to sell for more than 100,000, right? Because this thing's paying 10% interest. The market only expects 8. So of course everybody loves it. They'll bid the price up until they earn what? The 8. So when I discount it 4%, I'll figure out what it's worth, huh? Okay? So 100,000 times what? This is going to be a present value of a sum factor, or you can use your calculator, I don't care. But it's the interest rate is what? It's going to be 1 over 1 plus the interest rate. The interest rate I said is 4%. Remember to discount at the yield or effective rate, right? Market rate. Not at the bond rate. The bond rate will just take you back to 100,000, okay? And then it's for how many periods, everybody? 30. So you could look up the factor for 30 periods at 4%. What is that factor anyway? Anybody look it up? Present value of sum 30. 30 periods, 4%.
30832.
Now careful, present value of a sum. It's way less than 1, right?
No, I said 0.3.
Oh, 0.3. Okay.
0.30832.
Is that right? I'm sorry, I think you said 30. 0.3,
Mm-hmm.
0,
832.
832. Okay, what's worth 31 cents? $1. Receive 30 periods from now, discounted at 40%. Everybody got it? We're there, aren't we? So take that 30 cents times 100,000. What's the whole 100,000 worth right now? 30,832. Need to get this just common sense, right? Just like, you know, this is what you think. If I invest 30,832 at 4% interest for 30 periods, what does it grow to? $100,000. And how much interest will I have earned? About $69,000. Everybody got it? That's the deal, okay? So that's what that's worth. That's what I'd be willing to pay for it, right? In a 8% world. How much would you pay for that $5,000, which is going to be 5,030 times, guys, right? This isn't just for you guys, it's for everybody at home too, right? Okay. So people are all different points in understanding this. So that's fine. Okay, so we got 30 times 5,000 is 150, we said, right? So this bond's going to pay off 100,000 face value and 150 of interest, right? Okay? So what's that 150,000 worth? What we do is we add up 30 present value factors, right? One for 1 period, one for 2 periods, on up to 30 periods. So what's the factor when you add up all 30 of those? What do you get? What is this factor? This is going to be a present value of an ordinary annuity because the payments are at the end of the period, right? Interest rate stays 4%. Number of periods, how many was it? 30, right? So you look it up, or you plug into your calculator, right? If you have an annuity payment at the when, end of the period, ordinary, right? Okay? It's 1 in most calculators, 0 for beginning, 1 for ending, I think. Okay, I think that's what it is. And then interest is 4%, number of periods is 30, the payment is 5,000, and voila, out will come present value, huh? Just that simple. So what is this anyway?
17.2923.
17.2923.
203.
203. Okay, and what is that? 17.2903.
Do you multiply that by 5,000 or
By
by the...
the 5,000, not by the 150. Wow, wouldn't this bond be valuable, right? What I'm saying is, look, each cash flow stream of $30 is worth $17 right now. What's the difference, the 13 bucks difference between the $30 of cash flow, $1 at the end of each period for 30 periods, right? 36-month periods. What's the difference between that $30 and the $17? What's that 13 bucks? Come on, you guys tell me what it is. Interest. When you discount, you're sucking the interest out, right? You're just taking the interest out. So what is the 150,000 worth? Because it's 5,030 times, right? You take 5,000 times 17.2903, and how much do you get? Excellent. Okay, that's what the 150,000 is worth. By the way, how come these are worth, I did this earlier, right, with you guys. How come these dollars are worth 31 cents and these, which is $30 is worth 17? They're worth an awful lot more, aren't they? How come? These are only worth 30 cents a dollar and these are worth, I don't know, 17 out of 30. That's a lot, isn't it? How come they're worth more than 50%? And these are only worth about 31%. How come? When do you get the cash? All of it comes at the end, right? On the lump sum. When do you get it on the annuity? Some 6 months from now, some a year from now, some 18 months. The 6 months from now is worth a lot, right, guys? How about the ones that are 30 periods from now? Well, they're worth the 31 cents, right? So it's together, isn't it? We just added together all those factors, those 30 factors. So what's the whole bond worth? 30,832 plus 86,452. How much is that? 117. You know what that is? 284. Is that right?
How much might be off?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you.
Oh, a little rounding, not much, $2.
Well.
If you use your calculator, what'd you get?
I'm off by 7.
Oh,
Eight.
$7?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
If you use the tables, it won't be nearly as accurate as if you use your calculator.
Yeah,
Use
I
your calculator?
the table.
Use the table? Yeah, calculator is more accurate.
Yeah.
So this we use the calculator, is that somebody who gave me these numbers? Yeah.
Okay.
So the table's not as accurate. What are you going to do in real life? Use a calculator. Use Excel, right? Use computer in general. Sure. But you know what? If we're just guessing all these things, if this was a real bond, we'd use a calculator to have the exact value, right? Because we care, right? But if it's just estimating future cash flows and estimating discount rates, who cares? Doesn't matter if you use the table or a calculator, right? Close enough. Okay. I like to use the table, though, to look at it so to see what's happening for you guys learning it. After you know how to do this, you'll always use this stuff, right? But you'll have an idea of whether or not the answer looks reasonable. If it's ridiculous, it's ridiculous, right? Okay? Can we do it now? Good? Everybody? Is this what you guys got? These two?
Yes.
Okay. You got it now, right? You guys got it? They did it earlier. All right, good. All right. You want me to make up a monster for you? What is going on with this? I confused it by... Good. And now it just went away. Sorry, you guys at home. What is that? Lesson plans and more. The first quarter I taught in a quarter system, I had a student who was in the education program at Central Washington University tell me that tell me that I really needed to have a course lesson plans or something like that. There, okay, now it's working again. All right, anyway, so here we go. Let's see. Let's say, when should we start investing? I guess when you're 22. Maybe you'll work longer. Maybe you'll work less. Maybe we'll invest less. Doesn't matter. Calculating anything. I know what I can do to mix it up a little bit. Let's say that you are 22 years old and you graduate, right? So therefore you start working. So at 22 years old you start to invest. So the problem says that, okay? Okay? And then what you want to do is you want to retire when you are 50 years old. Wouldn't that be nice? But then the problem that you're going to have is that you aren't going to die for a long time. So we decide you're going to die when you're 90 years old. You have to guess when you're going to die, you guys, if you're going to buy an annuity for the rest of your life. So if you were to buy an annuity from an insurance company, they would actually guess where you're going to die, when you're going to die. Not where, when you're going to die in terms of they're going to use actuarial tables, right? How long life expectancy is. They're going to guess. So how many years do you have to invest? Only 28. How many years do you have to live up to what you invested? 40. It's going to be tough, isn't it? Okay? So let's say that my first, let's make the first 8 years. Okay? So this is going to be invest at the end of each year. And from years 1 through 7, right? Your salary, say it starts at 50,000, and it won't stay at that, it'd actually be going up. But you decide to invest 5,000 of that 50,000. Got the idea? And you're going to be doing it at the end of each year, okay? Years 8 through 15. Your salary bumps up to 100,000. And you are going to invest $15,000 per year, okay? I've got 28 years to do this, don't I? So years 16 through 22, I think I'll invest, if I'm going to be making 200,000. You guys have been very successful. This would be a lot of success. And you are going to now put in $30,000 every year. And then years 23 through 28. So this is getting up to 50 years old, right? I guess that's 45 to 50 in that range. You are making $250,000 a year in today's dollars, okay? And you are going to invest $40,000 each year. You guys with me? Okay? And let's say that you're going to be very, very aggressive in these early years. You're going to invest in things that on average earn 15%. And then you're going to get a little more conservative. I don't know why you're doing this, but this is going to be 14%. You're going to get a little more conservative. This is going to be 13%. Just different types of investments in the stock market. So it's a little more complex than the one you guys did, isn't it? Just more calculation, more number crunching. This one, we get down to just a normal portfolio, right, in the stock market. 12%. We start getting nervous, okay, at the end of our investing career here. Okay, so now at that point, you are now how old, everybody? You're now 50 years old, right? Then what I want you to do is I want to take the money and I want you to invest it. So that's the second piece, okay? So purchase an annuity, but let's make the payments be at the beginning of the year, because you and your spouse would like to, significant other, whatever, you want to get the payment at the beginning of the year because you're going to go travel around the world with the first payment, right? Then after that, you have money to live on, okay? So payments at the beginning of the year, I would like to know how much do you get every year for the next 40 years, right? Because you're not dying until you're 90, okay? And if you don't die at 90, sorry, you're going to live on Social Security, right? You're 90, what the heck, okay? Plus, you don't have to really spend it all. Go. Can you do it?
For funding how much we want when we're 90, is that what you said?
Okay, I want to know how much I can draw at the beginning of the 51st year, because I'm 50, right? Beginning of the 51st, 52nd, 53rd, up to the beginning of the 90th.
Okay.
Now I'm done. So that's this part. What you need to know is how much you're going to have when you're 50 years old to be able to buy this. This is an easy calculation once you know that, right? And what kind of annuities are there? What kind of annuities are there? Ordinary and due. I got both of them up here. Okay? And what do? You figure out how much they're going to grow to. Is that a future value or a present value? Future values, right? So future value all the way out until you retire. Could you approach something like this? Could you handle it? And I made it. Do we have all those factors in the book? 15, 14, 13, 12. And for those years, 7, I guess, and then 8, and then
We have
7,
15,
and
12,
then
11,
6.
We don't have those percentages.
What don't we have?
We have 15, 12, 11.
Oh, for crying out loud. So you can use the tables. I don't know. Why don't they give us all of them? I was aware that they didn't, but we've been doing so well. We have 15, and then what does it go down to?
12.
Oh, for crying out loud. We'll use it, but in real life, probably we would all suddenly that conservative, but okay. And then let's do, what do we have after that, 11 and 10? We'll use those. That's good. We're not going to have nearly as much money now, are we? Okay. Oh, and we're going to get conservative when we do the annuity, too. I'm sorry. Let's make this annuity be at 8% maybe for 40 years. Okay? Yeah, you want to earn on your annuity, too, of course, right? So the annuity will pay you 8%. Slightly less conservative than the 10, of course. But yeah, so we're conservative investors. More conservative than Keith is.
Years 1 to 7 would be 7 periods. Right? Would that be like 0 to 7?
This is for the first 7 years, so it's 7.
Okay.
This is years 8, so this would be at the end of year 1, right? They're in. End of year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And so we have 7 on there?
Yeah.
And then we have end of year 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This one's an 8-year one, right? This one's, I think, a 6-year one?
Yeah.
End of 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. No, that's 7. That was 7 also. 22 less 15. 15 less 7. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay? Then this one's a 6-year one. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Just another wrinkle. Okay. But when you're compounding, after you get the future value at the end of the annuity, when you're compounding for the rest of the term, you have to use all those different interest rates. Right? Because they keep changing. But you can feel free to add together what you have from the different annuities as you move forward. That'd be all right. That'll save you a few multiplications if you want.
So we just add them together?
Well, yeah. When you're done, you want to figure out what this annuity is going to be worth when you are 50 years old, what this annuity is going to be worth when you're 50 years old, and so on. So you want all 4 annuities at the end of 50 years, and you want to add those together. Make sure you got the end of 50 years, though. Not the end of the
So
annuity.
we go ahead and take it.
Like when our future value of the first.
Okay.
Well, you can do the future value of this one at 15%, and then you
Is
can
the
compound
present
it at 12. No, they're futures.
Okay.
It's not how much we invest now. We know how much we're going to invest. I want to know what I'm going to have later. So this is the idea. How do you find out what the question's asking? Well, what do we want to know? I'm going to buy an annuity 28 years from when I start, right? Pretend you're 22 right now, right? I'm going to buy an annuity in 28 years that's going to support me for the next 40 years. I want to know how much I have 28 years from now. That's what future value is. Okay? And then I'm going to calculate an annuity payment. What kind of an annuity is that, by the way? The payments at the beginning of the year. 2. Yeah. You got the interest rate, you got its annuity due, you know how many periods it is. You just calculate the payment, big deal. We've done these. You guys told me in class today that this was easy. These calculations are no different than we were doing. Same stuff. I didn't believe you then, I don't believe you now. I believe you after you do it on a quiz test and final. Those are your future accounting professors and finance professors come back and say, God, those guys can just do it. Find present values and future values in their sleep. What's frustrating, students always pretend they can't do anything because they don't have to stay there, so don't get asked questions. It's really rotten, to be honest. Dan Hire likes to say you didn't teach those guys a debit from a credit. Nobody even knows what a balance sheet looks like. So be nice, go up with the board, put a balance sheet. How fast do you think you can do this? You 3 are going to be slow, these 2 are going to be real fast. It's just terrible if you know how to do it. Now, faster, unless they really screw up. It's embarrassing. would write something like this. The salaries don't mean anything, right? Give you an idea what the salary progression is going to look like, so you could actually afford to put that kind of money in.
In a couple of the exercises in the book, and they had kind of problems like this, they would take like the interest rate, like they would take the present value for 15 and then subtract it from the present value of 8.
Yeah, it's fine. Do it that way if you want.
Okay.
Should give you exactly the same answer.
Okay.
I don't know, that might be kind of cumbersome in this one though. I got so many different, really. I don't know. The rates keep changing. I don't know if that'll work. Well, it would work, but it might be more cumbersome, not less. There's a whole variety of ways you can calculate these. You can do each year independently all the way through, obviously. Don't do that. Takes some time. Do problem 6, 7.
6, 7.
You close? You got it. You got it in there. Are you making progress? What we're doing is we're getting the future value of year 1 through 7, right? That would mean the value at the end of 7 years, right?
So to do
Right,
that, you
future
have to
value.
get the present value back, right?
No. Future value. I want to know how much I have in the future, right? I want to know what I have when I'm 50, not what I have when I'm 22. I don't care what it's worth when I'm 22. I don't have that money. If I did, I'd retire. Okay, so here's what we'll do. And it'd be done investing at least. I can spend all my money I make from that on, right? I wouldn't invest if I already had it. So from years 1 through 7, I put in $5,000 each time. I want to know what that's going to grow to at the end of 7 years.
Okay. Now,
Then, after I
that
do that,
number that you get,
that's the first number.
yes.
Then what do you do with it?
Is that your, then when you calculate your next 8 to 15 years, do you use that as the present value?
No. Well, yeah, you could say when you have this at the end of the first 7 years,
Yeah.
I'll have a dollar amount that it grows to.
Yeah.
Then I will take that as a present value at that time. You're right.
Okay, that's
And
what I was asking
compound
earlier.
it
I
for
just didn't
8
say
more
it.
years at 12%.
Okay.
And then I'll get that amount,
Okay, that's what I was saying earlier.
which is a
I just
future
didn't have
value
it.
15 years from now, but I'll treat it as a present value then. And then I'll have it grow at 11%.
So then you're going
for
to take
6.
that big number, yeah.
And then I'm going to have it grow at 10%. So that one, I have to take whatever I have at the end of the first 7 years and compound it at 12, compound it at 11, compound it at 10, and I have the amount that it's worth when I retire when I'm 50. Got the idea? And then they get progressively easier. This one, you do, right, for, what is it, 8 years? Whatever that is. Yeah, it's 8 years. 8 years at 12%, and have it grow to whatever it grows to. And now that, I'm at the end of 15 years, and I'll compound that at 11, and compound that at 10, right? So now I know what that one grows to. And then the next one, years 16 to 22, I'll have 30,000 rather, 30,000 for 6 years, I guess it is, whatever that was, 7 years, at 11%, right? And then I'll have to compound that for the rest of the time, the other 6 years at 10%. And then the last one you don't need to compound after you figure out its future value at all, because you're done. Then you can add those 4 together, and that's how much you have when you retire. We good? Does that help? Any words?
Well, we'll see. We're really thinking a lot about it. It's the Dubois Inc. or whatever, right? 6, 7. I'm confused because it doesn't give me interest rate. It says assume the interest rate is constant over the entire investment, but there's no interest rate given.
So what would you do? What do you want to know?
Wouldn't you?
What's now between 2 alternative investments, and they both have the same interest rate?
Yeah, but it doesn't say.
It's the same interest rate. So what could you do?
Calculate for the interest rate based on what they're getting for it.
Could you assume a particular interest rate, calculate? Could you do that?
So you guys assume any interest rate?
I guess you could. Trying to decide between 2 alternative uses of the funds. One gives 800,000 at the end of each year for 12 years, and the other is to receive a single lump sum of $1,009,000 at the end of 12 years.
It wouldn't even matter what the interest rate is, would it?
Would it? Try it with 2 different interest rates and see what you get. If you get the same ordering, try a real high interest rate, and then try a real low interest
Well, you
rate.
know what I'm saying, because either way, it says they're only getting 80,000, so it doesn't matter what the interest rate is. It says one alternative provides 80,000 a year and for 12 years.
And the other gives them all the money at the end.
Yeah.
So think about it. You're getting exactly the same amount of money. So you don't really have to calculate anything, you could just think about it. What's a better deal at any positive interest rate? The only time you would think those two would be the same is if your interest rate is 0. Am I right?
Those aren't the same though.
They're not the same. Are they the same cash flows in total?
No.
Oh, I thought they were.
No, that's what's confusing me.
Thought you said they were.
80,000 times 12 years would be 960,000.
Oh, okay. And the other's $1.9 million.
That's why I said, wouldn't that automatically be better?
Oh, okay. Well, it probably depends on which interest rate you use. Then it does.
And it doesn't give you one, so you can't really.
Well, why don't you use a real high one and a real low one and see which one you like? And then you could say, well, it just depends on which interest rate I use. Try that.
So discount it.
Try one at 15 and try another one at 5, right? See which one you like better at each rate, each discount rate.
Is the 600,000 included? Like.
I'm going to invest 600,000
So
and I'm going to get back the rest. I know the present value, right? Am I investing 600?
Yeah.
I know the present value, I know the future values, and I know the number of periods. Do I know the interest rate? Could you calculate the interest rates? Oh, then you could compare your interest rates and say what?
One's greater.
I like the one that's better, and their cost of capital's the same either way, right? So these aren't. What they're trying to tell you is they equal risk. Oh, so you can do it that way too. That's probably a better way to think. Get the actual interest rates, isn't it?
I want to make sure that this
So what this is the value of
the future value of
5,000. Now what an factor is this thing?
the future value of
It's not a sum. It's 5,000. How many times?
Oh, I know.
7 times. This is 15,000 8 times. You want the future value of annuity. This is if you only got the money once. You don't get it once. It's going to be big. It's going to be
the
much
other one that's
bigger.
in here is an ordinary. Oh wait, that's what that one is. That's what that one is.
It is an ordinary thing, yeah. Future value of an ordinary annuity. It's an annuity, right? It's going to grow for more than that, don't you think? In that many years? You're that under.
For this one, what is
You can't do anything immediately.
okay, so what am I finding right here?
You're finding out what this is going to grow to at the end of 7 years. You're going to find out what this one's going to grow to at the end of the next 8 years. You're going to find out what this one grows to over those 7 years. You're going to find out what this one grows to over those 6 years. And they're going to all be at different points, but that's the first step in the calculation. Okay? I'm finding out if I invest that money for that long, what will it grow to at the end, right? But those are all different years, aren't they? That makes sense? The hard thing here is seeing the cash flows, not doing the calculations, right? How much money is this? This is 50,000 times 7. It's 350,000. What value did you get there when you calculated?
I erased it.
It was tiny, wasn't it? 2 times, 3 times, something like that. That's ridiculous, right? You are valuing. Oh, I'm sorry, 5,000 times 7. You're valuing $35,000. You got a number less than 35,000. You don't believe that, do you? Okay, so it's an annuity. So I've got an annuity for 7 years at 15% on 5,000, and that tells me what it's worth at the end of 7 years when you are now 29 years old, I guess, huh? That's how much you'd have at the end of when you're 29. Okay, and then you have to compound it for the rest of the time. You guys
Do you
get
know
there?
what the answer is supposed to be?
What'd you get?
I got like each year you're supposed to get 168, 648, 168,000.
What'd you get?
226, 716.
Okay, what'd you get?
252, 301.
I'm a failure as a teacher.
Question
Okay.
real quick. Okay, so you said,
What'd you get? You get any of those?
No. Okay, so 1 through 7, you reinvest.
Okay, we're going to find out what this is going to grow to
Let's
at the
say
end of
it
7
grows
years.
to be.
Then you reinvest that at 12%,
Okay,
but now it's a lump sum.
So then we keep.
So at 12, and then it grows, right, for 8 years, and then at 11, and it grows
Okay.
for 7 more years, and then at 10, and it grows for 6 more. What's hanging you up? And so you know what you've got when you're 50.
So what you do is you take, so let's just say I got 50,000 for the first one.
Okay.
I know I got a little different number, but 50,000.
Okay.
And so would I take 50,000 times whatever my future value of a single lump sum is?
1.12 raised to the seventh.
Seventh or eighth?
Oh, eighth, yes, eighth.
Okay.
Eight, yeah.
And then I would do,
And then take that sum, right?
wait.
No.
Take that sum and then raise it. Yeah, it's a
Wait,
sum.
no. But, okay, so,
Okay, I'll do the first one with you guys. For crying out loud. You two should have no problem with this. Okay, here we go. Let's do the first one. We'll just do the first one, and then you guys can do the rest.
Okay.
Okay?
but I think what I think you're saying is I did something different. 'Cause I just,
Well, there's a variety of ways you can do it. You can go in different orders.
okay,
Okay, as long as you get the same
Let's
answer.
just
I
start
could care
counting
less.
and see where we end up.
Okay. So what I would say is, okay, in this first 7-year annuity, what do I have? I have an ordinary annuity payment, right, guys?
Yes.
How much is it?
$1,000.
$5,000. What I am valuing here is 5,000 times 7, or $35,000. It's going to grow, right? So 50 might be okay, I don't know. Times what? I want to take it times the future value of an ordinary annuity factor, right? Interest rate, what is it? 15%?
15%.
Number of periods?
7.
7. And when I multiply that times the ordinary annuity payment, that is going to give me a future value at the end of 7 years.
Yeah, so you use
So I start when I'm 22, I'm now 29. Yeah. Go ahead.
So you use that ending lump sum.
And then I'm going to have it grow
Yeah, so that's your future value for your next annuity, for that next.
for the next single sum.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not an annuity anymore,
Yeah,
it's a sum.
I'm sorry, that's.
Okay, so how much is that? How much is that packet?
Uh,
More than 7.
it's 11.06680.
So you're gonna have $7 invested and it grows to $11. Got the idea?
Yeah.
You get $4 of interest on each $7 stream. Am I right? So what's the whole 5,000 going to be? It's 5,000 times 11. It's around 55,000.
55.
Wouldn't that be the 21 periods? How many periods?
Oh, wait a minute. The first one's only 7. I just did the first one.
It's 20, you're retiring in 28 years,
The first, yeah.
so you would raise it to 21st.
Then you start when you're 22.
Yeah.
First 7 years, then 15. It's 28 years. 28 deposits, right? At the end of each year. End of 22, into 23, to end of 50. Is that right? Did I count the years
You
right?
get an end of 7, and then you put it into the.
It's either 28 or 29 years.
Are you doing the annuity or the lump sum?
Well, first I'm getting the annuity.
Okay, I thought you were doing the lump sum.
This is an annuity first. 5,000 times an annuity factor, right?
Yeah.
15%, 7 periods. How much does it grow to?
55,334.
Yes.
Okay.
All agree on
Then
that.
what do you want to do with that?
That's as good as gold.
Have it grow. Now you say, okay, this is the same thing as a present value
This
at
is
that
what I
time,
need.
right?
This is what.
7 years from now. Some people would write it like this, which I kind of like myself, but students tell me it's confusing. Maybe you guys won't think so. Present value 7 years from now. It's okay to write it like that. So, okay, that's what it is. It's a present value 7 years from now, and I want to get the future when?
21 years.
Well, 28 years from now, right? When I retire at 50.
Yeah, but it would be 20, you'd use 21 as the factor when you, since it's 7 years. Have
Oh,
passed.
well, yeah, but I can't do that because I keep changing interest rates. So now I take the money that was invested at 15 and I have it invested at what? 12%.
What you change.
It's times, yeah, I changed interest rates. 1.12 raised to the what? How long is it 12%?
21.
8 years. This is going to be, right, a present value at times 7, and what this is a future value of a sum factor, if you want to look it up, for what? 12%, 8 periods, right? You guys with me on this? Is that making sense?
Okay, yeah.
So now it grows to what? So now I'm at the end of 15 years. What has it grown to? What's that factor? 1.12 raised to the 8th, what was it? How much?
2.47596.
So over that period of time, it's going to be 2.5 times the 55. How much is that?
$137,005.
Yeah, I don't.
Now what do we do?
I know, what's going on doing wrong?
Okay, so what you're doing is you're not taking that
23, there's
50,000
28.
and you're not putting it into an account for, it's not a single sum, it's not building interest, it's its own single lump sum. It's not an annuity. So you can't put it in there with the annuity, you have to.
No, you can't merge it. You cannot merge them. Don't do it. If you do, you have to. You can't treat it as an annuity. You have to treat everything as a lump sum then, which is just fine. But that'd be a real pain with having that many years. You can do every year independently if you want, right? But I wouldn't go there. I'd treat them as annuities myself. So now we know what? We know how much we're going to have when we're how old, guys? This was when we were 29, right? You guys agree with that? 22 to 29? How much is that going to grow to by the time you are, what are you going to be? At 8 more years? You're now 37. Everybody see what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Now what are you going to do? Have it grow at what rate?
1.1.
11%, was it?
The 7 period.
For 7 periods, because we got 7 more years, and now you're going to be 44 years old, and you're going to have how much? This is going to be what? A future value of a sum, factor, right? Interest equals 11%. Number of periods equals 7. Sure. What's that factor? When you look it up.
2.07616.
7616?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have double your money. So take 137,005 times 2.07616, and what do you get? What has that portion grown to? So your first 7-year annuity, the very first one, is now how much when you're 44? You guys, come on. 137,005 times 2.07616. Double.
Um, 284,444.
444.
Yeah, there's 4 fours.
All righty, 284, 444. Now what do we need to do? How many more years we got to go? 6. What's the interest rate?
10.
Jeez, even I could do this. Okay, I'm now going to be 50 years old, aren't I? You like it? How much am I going to have from my first 5 years investment, or 7 years investment, rather, my first 7 years when I'm 50? What's it going to grow to? What is that factor?
1.77156.
And does everybody see that that's I equals 10%, N equals 6? It is, right? We don't need to write it down, do we? We did write it down when we wrote this down anyway, didn't we? Okay, how much is that going to be? 1.77156 times 284,444. How much does our first 7 years investments grow to?
503,909.6. So
90. Oh,
910. It would be 910.
all right.
Yeah.
So, you guys, you mean to tell me that 35,000 becomes 504,000? Yes. Holy cow. You want to start investing early? Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna do that with every step, right?
This is what it's worth when I am 50 years old. It's my terminal value, you could say.
Oh, okay.
Now do the same thing for the next annuity, the next annuity, the next
Yeah,
annuity,
okay.
and then add the 3 of them together. Go. You got it?
Hang-
It's same process exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Only remember, with this next one at 12%, you're going to know what it's worth 15 years out, right? When you are now 37. So you just need to compound it then for 7 years here to get to be 44, and then for 6 more years here to get to be 50. Right? You don't have to. You wouldn't compound it if you didn't have it earlier, would you? That make sense? Okay. This one, I'm going to find out what this 8-year annuity of 15,000 a year. 8 times 15 is 120 grand, right? What's it going to grow to at 12% by the end of 8 years? But that end of 8 years is 15 years from now, right? 15 years from when you start at 22. Because it's a 7-year annuity followed by an 8-year annuity, right? So what you'll know how much this one is worth 15 years from when you're 22. You're going to be 37 then. And then you're going to have another 6 years, or 7 years for it to grow until you're 44, just like we just did on that one, right? And then you're gonna have another 6 years to grow till you're 50. So you only have 2 times you compounded, not 3. You got the money later.
So what do you put for the first one?
Well, for this first one here,
You wouldn't put anything?
it's nothing. It's worth $504,000 when you're 50 years old. You just figured it out. You got $500,000 from your first 5 years investment.
So then the
This
second
is your
one,
final thing.
for the second one, do you do the same thing, do you do the
For
exact
the
same
first-
process?
Yes.
Only instead of
Only you wouldn't have anything at 12%, right? You compound 15,000 at 12% for the annuity. Then you compound that as a lump sum at 11 and that as a lump sum for 10. So there's one less step. See, here I have
So you're
1,
doing that
2,
same
3. You're only going to have these 2.
This is your first one, right?
But they're going to be for 8, they're for, no, they're going to be for the same number of years. 7 and 4.
Take that money and we're gonna reinvest it.
Or 7 and 6, I guess.
ordinary
Period.
annuity payment for 15,000 times the
And that's
future
how
value
you get
of
the
ordinary
That's how we got that
annuity.
13.
Yeah,
So then we're going
absolutely.
to
Yes,
again.
yes, yes.
It's not
Get it,
the
aren't you?
original
The
number.
hard thing is seeing the cash flow.
Okay, so that
What is
is your
this?
lump sum for this one
Slightly
number.
confused with that thing.
So now you have to take this number and do the exact same thing.
So we still don't have a,
We still don't have our answer yet, no.
so then what do we do with the cell phone?
Wait a
We
little
don't
bit.
put anywhere.
Do you think you got it now?
Not yet.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all gonna just use this, I assume, I don't know why I was thinking it was like an interest rate like we did.
Oh, the
previously, since it's all
15
the same.
forever.
Yeah, I used the 15
Well,
for
if you
that. and
didn't
I
change
used,
your investments on that part, that might happen.
yeah, that's why I figured.
Ah,
So I did like 15 and then I did like 12 for the next when you.
yeah. Well, you could make an assumption like that.
Yeah, so I did that.
Yeah, that's not what I meant.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
that. You were like changing after
Yeah,
the fact.
they're changing their investment strategy, but you wouldn't have to. You could leave the early stuff in at 15%
Yeah,
the whole
that's
time,
exactly
and
what
the
I
new
left
stuff
it
in
at.
at 12, and then 11 and 10. You made your problem easier.
That's what I.
Yeah. You think you got it?
My number, maybe.
You guys have the same answer after you? That would be a good clue.
Well, I mean, I have to redo it now for the.
Yep.
Yeah, the different way that you did it.
Okay.
Shut up. We've got a long way to go still. We are on track now.
This is so easy. What's wrong with you guys?
Just take
Young,
this-
haven't
we
killed your
got it
brain
now, we're
cells.
good to go.
Too much bourbon on the weekends.
That's right.
I can see it really well this way.
All that pot followed by all that beer, followed by wine, followed by bourbon. Come on, you guys. You should be able to do this a tenth the time I could.
You know how it's like really hard to get that first number. So on the second one, it's 8 to 15, what's your first number?
I went to redo my company.
It's insert blank page.
Yeah, maybe that's what I ended up getting. Okay.
There we go.
Did you get the second one too? You guys agreeing on the second one?
Wait,
No, I have my
Part of the
calculator.
second.
Oh, all the way through?
Not all the way through yet.
Okay. I got to show it after about 20 minutes. They're really stressed out.
And an exam.
No, it's in the, I haven't learned principles of accounting in about 3 weeks.
I think there were some of the students in the library.
Yeah, we're there.
Yeah, they were really struggling with debit and credit and
Yeah.
like the assets increase like this. And we were studying for the quiz and we were just.
Did you help them?
giggling. No, they seemed to have it under control.
Yeah.
You're studying accounting, she's like, I don't know.
And then like as the night went on, she's like, yeah.
crank it. It should be fast now. Once you realize what you're doing.
Yeah.
Let's everybody get into the, let's see if we can get the same answer for where we're at the end of 50 years. Real quick.
Do you just add them all together?
Yeah, after you know what you have for the first annuity, the second, the third, the fourth, add them all together, right? So, and by the way, we did this on another example. It was a little simpler in the first couple hours. So those of you who weren't here are welcome to watch it anytime you want. I don't care. If you're really bored or you can't sleep, really bored and want to be more bored, there's 4 annuities. Figure out the value of each of them and add them up. We already did the first one, right, guys? This was number 1.
For the fourth one, you don't have to do anything after the first step, right?
You got it, because you already know what it's worth at the end when you're 50 years old, right? Fantastic. Good insight. Scary. There it is. What are we doing at this on this thing? Okay, we got a weekend. Good. With a lot of problems. With a lot of problems. So he answers. You don't have to work in the way the author does, unless that's the way your brain works. I do it differently. It doesn't matter. If you do them different than me, I could care less if you try to. Okay? What's really sad, though, is they have people who skip class, try to follow the author's format, and get really ridiculous answers. It's not because the author's doing it wrong, it's because they don't do it. Wrong with the way the author does it. They like this timeline things that drive me crazy.
I don't like those.
Yeah, I can't do a timeline unless I know the times. So if I know the times, why would I do a timeline? Yeah, no, it's not doing that. I'm not a visual person, but economists probably like that better. See it. I like a table. Yeah. I like financial statements better than bar charts. Why can't you put the financial statements in a bar chart? What the heck? Why would anybody want that? I want a number. I don't want a graph.
Yeah.
What did you get as your final?
What you guys get? What you get as your annuity? Did you do the annuity yet, or just are you talking about the total investment?
The total at the top.
Okay, what does it grow to? What do all these grow to, you guys, in total? What does this grow to? What'd you get? What's your total investment before you buy the annuity?
$2,011,863.76.
Does that sound good? Is that what you got, too? 2,011,000?
Yeah.
About what you got?
It's 2,011,064.
That's
what I got.
Did you get 2,011,000? What'd you get?
I'm high. Like
Way high.
570, not
2 million.
like 2,570,000.
Huh.
2,011,000.
Okay, something went through.
Wait, what?
Good.
Exactly 11,000?
2,011,066.
That's
Okay,
close.
I should be 4.
Yeah, that's real helpful.
All right, so what's your
You got
second?
an extra 500,000?
Yeah, what's your annuity for the second one?
Okay, yeah, let's do that. What are the annuities for each one, guys? You guys really know what you're doing. This is scary. Okay, the first one was how much? Number 1, we said was.
I know what I did. Never mind.
Oh, good. Well, let's write them down though. You know what you're doing, right? For people who are watching this thing, what was the first one? Because they can watch the first one and know how to do it and then follow along here, right?
503,910.
Okay, so that one became 503,910. This is at age 50, right? All these are going to be age 50. And what we did to get that was we took 5,000, right? Annuity of 5,000 for a total of 35,000 over the 7 years at 15%, right? And it grew, right? I can't remember what the number was, but it grew to a number. And then we took it that times 12% for 8 years, and then we took that times 11% for 7 years, and then we took that times 10% for 6 years, and we got 503,910, didn't we? What do you do for annuity number 2 here? For 2 over there. We're going to take 15,000 for 8 years. Future value of a ordinary annuity, and we get that value. And then we take that amount and compound it 11% as a lump sum, right? For 7 years. And then we compound for 6 more years that lump sum at 10%. And what do you get? What'd that one grow to? Something like that. Okay, right around there, within a few bucks. Okay, good. All right, we're guessing. It's just these rates anyway. We're guessing what the contribution's going to be. We're guessing when it's going to be, right? I mean, we're just planning. Okay, number 3. That's the third one look like. I'm going to take 30,000, which is going to be for how many years was that one? 7. That's 210,000 bucks, right, guys? So 30,000, 11% ordinary annuity, future value of it, and I calculate the future value at the end of, I don't know, 7 years, was it?
Yeah.
Then what? Compound it for 6 years at 10%, that amount. And what'd you get?
519932.
519.
932.
932. Sound about right, everybody?
950.
Oh,
Yeah,
they
close
did it.
enough.
I
It's,
used
it's
one.
table or calculator. That's all it is. That's close. Okay? Good. All right. Number 4. I don't care about the last 2 digits of these at all. Okay? Within $100 bucks, come on. Right?
You might want to use theirs though, so that it is all like done the same way.
I don't care. All right. People can hear me talk here. I think if it's recording, maybe you see the numbers. No, that would be awful. Okay. Hey, you guys at home, don't start with this one. Do the earlier one. Do the earlier section. I'll label them separately. Okay, so number 4. All right, we got 40,000. How many times? 6. That's 240 grand, right? That we're investing. And then it's going to grow at 10% over the period of the investment. And then we're done. You're right. You're at the end of the 50 years, aren't you? You're 50 years old. Okay, how much did that grow to?
308,624.
Is that close, guys?
Yeah, that's what I had. Exactly.
All right, fantastic. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add them all up, and I know how much I'm going to have at age 50. Everybody agree?
I have the same total. I found out what I did wrong.
All right, you added something twice or something?
Yeah.
What do we get?
2,011,066 is what I had.
We have 64, but we should probably add all those.
Yeah, I've read it. I've read
It's a
some
6, if everything works.
I think I've read
24 and 32 is not 66, it's 56.
Did you use like the
Yeah,
calculator?
but whatever. Did you get more like 56?
I use the
I got 23.
Okay, I
23.
023.
I hereby decree it's 56.
Okay, so what's up? Okay, I got that.
Yeah.
I got that.
Is this 56 then?
No,
I got
66.
No, if you add those together. Oh, there's a 10 up there. It is
Yeah.
66. I lied. It is 66. Okay. Well, now what do we know? That's how much we have at age 50. And we'd like to know now what? How much of an annuity can we buy for that if it's an 8% annuity? So I have what? A present value at that time, right? If you want to, you can say it's a present value at age 50. I don't care. And then you got 40 years that you're going to get an annuity, right? Okay? So that's $2,011,066 to invest. This isn't going to give you a very good annuity, is it? Okay?
That's
So-
actually 46, not 66.
Oh, no, it's not.
Yes, it is. There's an 8 in there.
5, 2, oh, there's an 8. Okay. You guys are being really mean to me here. Okay, 46, 46. We've got 2 different ways of calculating this, one using the tables and the other using calculators, and we blended the 2.
Can we close these? Do you know?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's
that
what you
switch
did.
right there on the wall,
That's what you
arrows
did
up and down.
instead of the
just
52.
push it down and it'll go. What's that?
That's because you did like the 32 instead of our 52.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's fine. Okay, anyway, so what would we do here? Push down on the arrow buttons.
These, There's not arrows on here. The
It's
other
like,
ones
it
with
looks like a
arrows
Up,
light
are on here
switch,
down.
yeah.
Does it look like up, down?
Those are the only ones.
That's for the board.
That's what I thought.
No, that's it. That one. This one is manual. Is that weird?
That is weird.
Why don't they, again, why isn't it just a wall? Why do you need a screen? Why wouldn't the screen be mounted on the wall? And then the blackboard somewhere else, over there. I'd put a blackboard there, and a blackboard there, and a little tiny one here, I guess. And I don't
It's
know.
a room full of blackboards.
Yeah, well, in the library, it's really cool in some of the rooms.
Oh, they're,
So,
yeah.
all the way around blackboards. It's wonderful. Yes, geez, because you can be doing something like this and just wander around the room. Yeah, so.
That's efficient.
Well, also you never have to erase it, so you can see everything somebody did. The bad thing about this thing is having it on this screen. I have to switch slides, and you can't see what I just did. And so, you can't read what I did anyway. What difference does it make? That's what you're thinking, I know. Okay, so what do we want? I want the annuity what payment? Dues at the beginning, okay? So make sure you get on the right table, okay? That's what I'm looking for. What do I know? I know the present value, and then what? This is going to be a factor for a present value of an annuity due, right? Interest rate? What is it? You guys are asleep. 8%? Number of periods? 40 more. Okay, so you go look up that factor. Everybody on board? This is what you did, huh? What's that factor?
12.87858.
12.87858.
Yes.
What's worth $12.88? $40, right? It's a lot of interest at 8% over 40 years, right? Yeah. You earn a lot of interest, okay? Don't accept 1 or 2 from an insurance company, huh? Right? Keep investing. So what do you do here? Take 2 million and divide it by 12, 13, whatever, right? And then you get your payment. How much was it?
156, 156. Yeah, close enough.
156, 156. That's awful. You were making 250,000 when you retired, and you only have 156. Here's what my wife and I's plan is: we will make slightly more when I retire than we do while I work. What do you think?
I mean, I think I would be good with that, though. I'm just like, I think I'd be okay
There's going to
with
be
it.
inflation after you retire for the 40 years. You're not really going to get the 8%. What we really should do with this is say what we're going to earn after inflation. Should probably take 2% away from each of those and see what really happens.
That's what I'm saying.
We'll
We'll
be
be
If you're living on 250,000
We'll
a
save
year,
that.
because remember you have to pay taxes anyway on this, right? You'd shelter this, by the way, when you make the investments. You know, you'll learn about that. What I mean is you won't pay taxes on it. You earn it. You're going to pay taxes later when you get paid. So my wife and I are going to make as much money when I retire. We hope the stock market doesn't crash, right? We're going to have as much money coming in, but we still have to pay taxes. There's still 40% of it's going to the government, guys, right now. So you don't want, you know, if I was making 250, wouldn't that be something? But if I was making 250, I wouldn't want to drop it down to 156. I think that's spoiling the kids and the grandkids. If you're making that much money, you can't.
So either you need to not live till 90, work a couple more years, or just
Or invest more. Either work more, invest more.
or die young.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. But that doesn't work because if you plan on an annuity, if you plan on an annuity, you're just going to leave money. What, your kids? My wife and I are going to watch their grandkids, the heck with kids. If there's anything left, they'll divvy it up somehow.
My mom always says she hopes the last check bounces.
She's going to do what?
She hopes the last check bounces.
Yeah, there you go. She hopes you got the